RSA certificates in a TLS 1.3 world. Welcome to the channel. Please consider subscribing. I produce videos daily covering a wide variety of cloud topics with focus on networking. Also, hit the bell icon to get notified of new videos. Today, we're tackling an excellent and very common question. If a server certificate only uses RSA keys, is it still suitable for a modern TLS 1.3 exchange? Given that TLS 1.3 removed the RSA Key Exchange, this is a point of frequent confusion. In this presentation, we will clear up that confusion and see how TLS 1.3 doesn't banish RSA, but instead enforces that it be used in the most secure way possible. The short answer: yes, absolutely. Let's get the main question out of the way immediately. Yes, a server certificate with an RSA key is perfectly suitable for TLS 1.3. The vast majority of certificates on the web today are still RSA based, and they all work seamlessly with TLS 1.3. The change in the protocol was not about banning RSA certificates, it was about banning an insecure way of using them. The key to understanding this is to realize that a server's long-term key can have two very different jobs. The two jobs of a server's key. Think of the server's long-term private key from its certificate as a special tool with two distinct functions. The first function is authentication. Here, the key creates a digital signature, proving the server's identity, much like a trusted notary's stamp. The second function is key exchange. It decrypts a secret sent by the client, establishing the session key, acting like a master key to a vault. TLS 1.2 allowed the key to be used for either function, while TLS 1.3 has a much stricter rule. Authentication, the notary. Let's look closer at the first job, authentication. This is accomplished with a digital signature. The server takes some data, like the details of a TLS handshake, and creates a hash of it. It then uses its long-term private key to encrypt that hash. The result is a digital signature. Anyone who has the server's public key can then decrypt this signature and verify that it matches the data. This proves that the data was signed by the true owner of the private key. This is a secure and essential function. Job 2. Key exchange, the vault. Now for the second job, key exchange. This is the old, static RSA key exchange method. Here, the client generates a secret, encrypts it with the server's public key, and sends it over. The server then uses its private key to decrypt this message and recover the secret. This works, but it has a massive security flaw. It does not provide perfect forward secrecy. If an attacker ever steals the server's private key, they can decrypt all past recorded sessions. Using the key as a vault is risky. How TLS 1.2 handled these jobs. The problem with TLS 1.2 was its flexibility. It allowed a server with an RSA certificate to use its key in two different ways. The client and server could negotiate to use the key for authentication in a modern ECDHE handshake. This was good and provided forward secrecy. Or, they could negotiate to use the key for the key exchange itself, using the static RSA method. This was bad and did not provide forward secrecy. Because both were options on the menu, a server could be misconfigured to use the insecure method. The vulnerability of the vault method. Let's be explicit about why the static RSA key exchange is so dangerous. It creates a single point of failure. An attacker can passively record months of encrypted traffic. At the time, this traffic is useless. But if they ever manage to compromise the server's long-term private key, they can go back to their recordings and decrypt everything. This record now, decrypt later attack completely undermines long-term privacy. This is the exact vulnerability that TLS 1.3 was designed to eliminate. How TLS 1.3 changed the rules. TLS 1.3 solves this problem with a simple, yet brilliant rule. It forbids using the server's long-term key for key exchange. The Static RSA Key Exchange has been completely removed from the protocol. This means an RSA key's only permitted job in a TLS 1.3 handshake is authentication. The protocol forces the key to be used as a notary, not as a vault master. It enforces the best practice use of the key. The modern handshake. ECDHE plus RSA signature. This is how a modern TLS 1.3 handshake works with an RSA certificate. The key exchange for secrecy is handled entirely by ephemeral elliptic curve Diffie-Hellman ECDHE. The client and server generate temporary keys just for this session. The server's long-term RSA key is then used for its one and only job, authentication. The server uses its private RSA key to create a digital signature over the ephemeral key exchange. This signature proves to the client that the ephemeral keys are legitimate and not from a man-in-the-middle attacker. Visualizing the role change. This diagram clearly illustrates the change. In TLS 1.2, a server's RSA private key could be used for two purposes: to decrypt a session secret, the insecure path, or to sign the handshake, the secure path. In TLS 1.3, the insecure path has been completely blocked off. The protocol simply does not allow the key to be used for decryption in the handshake. Its only function is to sign, which forces all key exchanges to be ephemeral and, therefore, forward secret. The analogy revisited. Let's bring back our analogy of the notary and the vault. In TLS 1.2, you could use your special key as a notary's stamp to authenticate documents, or you could use it as the master key to a vault where people drop off secrets. TLS 1.3 recognized that using it as a vault master was a huge security risk. So, it made a simple rule. This key is now only a notary's stamp. It can be used to prove authenticity, but it can no longer be used to unlock secrets directly. This forces everyone to use a separate, temporary key for each secret drop-off. Summary of the changes. This table provides a quick summary. In both TLS 1.2 and 1.3, an RSA certificate is perfectly suitable. The difference is in what the protocol allows the server to do with that certificate's key. TLS 1.2 allowed it to be used for key exchange, making forward secrecy optional. TLS 1.3 forbids this, restricting the RSA key to authentication only, which makes forward secrecy mandatory. The certificate didn't change. The rules of the game did. Conclusion. So, to conclude, an RSA certificate is not only suitable but is extremely common in a TLS 1.3 world. The protocol was intelligently designed to be backward compatible with the existing certificate infrastructure. TLS 1.3 doesn't obsolete your RSA certificate. It obsoletes the insecure ways of using it. By enforcing a strict separation of concerns, ephemeral keys for secrecy, long-term keys for identity, TLS 1.3 makes the internet safer for everyone, regardless of whether the server's certificate is RSA or ECC based. Final thoughts. This distinction is a perfect example of the maturity of modern cryptographic protocol design. It is about building systems that are secure by default. Instead of providing a menu of good and bad options and hoping the user chooses correctly, TLS 1.3 simply removes the bad options. This makes the entire ecosystem more robust and resilient against both misconfiguration and future attacks. Your RSA certificate is fine. The protocol just got a whole lot smarter. Thank you for your attendance. Please consider subscribing to the channel.